Hey everybody, it's your favorite host, Gentleman Style Podcast show, Marcus, and we are here on the show today, and I'm bringing you the man, the myth, the legend. This man is gonna dive deep with us, not too deep because you gotta connect, but he's gonna dive deep with us, and he's gonna give us the unadulterated content about real estate investing, his journey, his life, and what he is all about. But first, I have a surprise for him. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have a short clip that because this man has to get a proper introduction. So stay tuned, stay with us, and watch this short clip about who we're bringing to the stage today. So join me on this Gentleman Style Podcast episode. It's going to be jam-packed. Here we go.
There's market value.
Now it's worth 1 point. You gotta go long term with it.
Congratulations. I'm
In 19, so nothing comes quickly.
Born and raised in Rexdale, in the northwest corner of the city, he is the proud son of immigrant parents and fell in love with entrepreneurship at the young age of 12.
In 1981, my parents bought this home for $89,000 and they sold it for $190,000. But a great lesson, don't sell your homes. Why? Because now, sitting here in 2021, this home is worth close to $1 million. Whew, it's been a while. This has been a while. The amount of times I knocked on these doors to sell newspapers, really like my first job ever, my first job that I got paid for.
I have a team of 44 agents with my business partner. We manage also 11 support staff, but I still get on the call. Approximately 187 to 200 deals a year are done right from this table, and then our team at large, we help a little over 650 to 700 families every single year. As a leader, I need to develop more leaders. And really the only way that I could do that is if I'm around, ask what they need in terms of help, and then actually help. But then also I'm able to produce a lot of content which educates my buyers, sellers, and investors so they can make an informed quality decision and then decide if they actually want to work with myself or someone on my team. So I do still sell, but I just do it all from this table.
Thank you all. I hope you guys got that clip. This man is a hustler. I'm telling you, this man has years and years of real estate experience, and I can't wait to bring this gentleman onto the stage. He is full of knowledge, and if you have questions, please feel free to ask him today. Help me welcome to the stage the incredible Mr. Jas Takhar.
Yes, thank you, my man. I really appreciate that intro and the time that you put in to make sure you brought out that clip. I've been fortunate enough to now be on a little over, I'm going to say about 160 other people's podcasts and webinars in the last 12 months, and nobody's put that type of time in, man. And so, for everybody who's watching and listening right now, that going that extra mile has never and will never go out of style, because when you change someone's state like you just did for me, also added to the fact that the guy who made that video, who's my personal cinematographer, Yassine Visuals, you saw his name at the end, he's in the room with me right now. He's feeling really good as well. You showed him a lot of love. No matter what, he's going to start attracting some more positivity in his day right now, because he had a massive smile on his face. He's up at that frequency now, which means that he's going to attract more of that. And that's because of your doing. So congratulations on all the content that you put out there, because we need more people like you, especially at a time like this, to spread the virus that I like, which is positivity. So thank you, brother.
For sure. My honor. Round of applause for Mr. Jas and his team. Sir, it is my true honor to have you on the show today, and I just have to give you the same energy that you put out, which is that positivity. Diving right in, though, sir, what is something that you inspire? One of the things, what's your morning routine that you do day in and day out that really sets the tone for the rest of your day? Like you do this one thing, and you know you're gonna have a powerful day.
Gratitude, like right away. First thing, I got two little boys, a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. The second I look over to their room and I know they're in that room, during the last couple of years, they started sleeping together. And once I know they're good, man, I look over to that room, they're healthy. Everything else in business, like today, for example, great question, great timing. I come in today, my team's put together in the last 35 days, I'm going to say a little over 35 transactions. That's how many condo units and homes have got sold just in a core group. Like I have a bigger team and the numbers are bigger in that same time period, but this small core group of 4 to 5 people who are like my everything after my family. I love these guys dearly. We lost 2 clients. Like first thing in the morning, I'm looking across the table to my VP. I can kind of sense when things didn't go well, like in terms of she got an email. I look over, she kind of shakes her head. That usually tells me that 2 people canceled. We put in just for those 2 deals to go through. We probably put in collectively, I'm gonna say 10 to 12 hours of work. It sucks, but at the end of the day, like big deal. You know what I mean? Some will, some won't. So what is kind of the attitude that I have when it comes to business and clients and stuff. And I'm sure we're going to go into that. But the fact that every single morning I'm 40 years old now. I'm going to say for the last 25 easily 25 years, I wake up, man, I look over, kids are good. My parents are good. My wife is good. Like that close core group. I look at my team here. They're healthy. Their families are healthy. All this other stuff I can handle because they're not massive punches. Now I'm human. If you punch me 6-7 times in a 15-minute time period, I'm gonna get affected by it, but when it's one punch at a time, client cancels, tomorrow a staff member wants to leave, all that shit I can kind of handle. It's just I don't like it when it happens all at the same time. But to answer your question, brother, it all starts with an attitude of gratitude for me, because as I mentioned about my boy Yassine, as you did all that clipping for him at the start, I'm trying to get on a frequency of what I want to attract more of. Meaning, I want to attract more happiness in my world. I want to attract more money because that gives me resources to do more things, gives me more freedom. I have to always consistently be on that frequency. Some call it the law of attraction. Some call it God. Some call it the universe. Whatever it is, it's the same. You gotta get on the frequency of what you're looking for. Now, I got some rough news for some people. What you have in your life right now, good or bad, is the result of the frequency that you've been on for the last 30, 60, 90 days, a year, 2 years. Because see, God, universe, law of attraction doesn't know the difference between what's good and what's bad. It just is. It's like the law of gravity. If I pick up this Sharpie right now, no matter what, if it's heavy or not, it's going to drop. That's what the law of attraction, the law of vibration, that's how it works. Doesn't know what's good, what's bad. It depends on what your thoughts are in here.
Ooh, did y'all see that? Did y'all see how he broke that down so delicately, like a scientist, right? Like a doctor. He's just in there with a surgeon and a scalpel, and he's just taking it all apart.
Marcus, I've been called a lot of things. I haven't been called the doctor yet, so my team might just clip this out as their big smiles. But I gotta give you, look, man. I don't give roses out like just like easily. I got to give you some flowers right now. Like this editing and all this going back and forth and the applause and your energy is very, very at a high level. And I really need to give you a lot of kudos, brother, because it's tough. I know how tough it is to get people on, get in the right mindset, put yourself out there for criticism. It's all good when people are telling you they love you, but when people start saying, I don't really like the way that Marcus kind of rolls, or Marcus, why are you doing all this content, or man, you're just full of shit. Whatever they're saying, you're handling it, and man, I'm just So appreciative of being on this with you right now.
Super dope. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy day, because you are rolling. The train has left the station and you are rolling. And but it's not too late to get on board with what this hustler and his team are doing. For example, right? So you have a real estate investment firm, brokerage, right? So you chose real estate, but you were exceptional, and you teach to this and you coach to this, is the white glove service. Can you teach us and talk to my audience a little bit about what that means? Because that's how one of the things you were able to stand out is that white glove service. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. Look, I think there's not a lot of businesses in general that take a lot of like customer service has got lost in a lot of industries for a lot of businesses. And I knew that, like, as a real estate agent, specifically what I've been doing for the last 17 years in the greater Toronto area, because I'm sure some of your audience is like, where's this guy even located? It's in, I'm located here in Toronto, Canada. So for the out of country listeners, that's a 50-mile radius, 75-kilometer radius. There is over 76,000 real estate agents in that 50-mile radius. If you throw a stone, you'll hit a real estate agent here, okay? Now, you can stay in the crowd, but I think if you stay in the crowd, you kind of get lost. You need to differentiate yourself, right? The truth of the matter is, anybody who's ever thinking about renting out a property, buying, selling, or investing, there's a couple of great sites, and they're called YouTube and Google, meaning everyone can get the information. It's no longer free. It doesn't cost anyone anything anymore. It's actually free to get all that information. So I decided that I'm going to differentiate myself from the crowd in a couple of different ways. Number one was, okay, we are going to provide what you're calling white glove service. And I'm glad that you I'm sure I didn't coin that, but I like to think I did. And what that means is we are going to consistently and constantly go the extra mile, because there's very little people playing in that field. Most people play kind of at the ground level, entry level. Let me try to sell you on a product or service, and after the sale is done or the transaction is made, the relationship stops. For us, that's where the relationship starts. Some of my investors, if not all of my investors that have personally bought with myself or my firm, we rent out the property for them and at no charge. And we help them with property management. Why? Because we want to give them a fully turnkey investment, something that they don't need to worry about. I mean, from a financial perspective, they got to figure out the money and stuff like that, which we can help with at times, but we always want to go the extra mile. So for example, on closing, when you're closing on a property, most lawyers close on a property in and around 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, in the greater Toronto area, in any major city, that's the worst time to be driving from one end of the city to the other end of the city. And it always works out that the lawyer's on the other end. Now, moving day, as people can imagine, is a very stressful day. You've just packed up your past home or condo. You're in a truck. The movers didn't show up on time. You had to put all these boxes together. You're trying to get to the other home, and now you got to stop off at the lawyer's office, and then the lawyer might not even have everything ready. So what we've been doing for 17 years, it's a small little thing, but I mean, a lot of our clients appreciate it. We tell our client, you just go to the new home and wait. Let us go handle everything around closing, picking up the keys, meeting you at the house. We got food coming. We got beers coming, whatever you guys might need. This way we can alleviate or at least relieve some of the stress. I always tell my clients, I've been saying this actually more than the 17 years that I've been in real estate, because my sales and service experience, it goes back to 27 years since I was a 12-year-old. I've always told people that my service is going to be very similar to a flight that you've probably taken in the past, meaning that there is going to be some turbulence along the way. But just like a pilot, myself and my team, we're not going to jump out of the plane and say, Marcus, you're on your own. Go deal with it. We're right there till the end. I mean, look, I told you, or maybe in that clip, I think it was, that I mentioned that I do about 200 transactions with that core group of 4 or 5 people every single year in a t-shirt and a hoodie, all from the desk. But my team at large, my 54 agents, including the deals that we do, we help a little over 700 families. None of that is to impress people. Like, I ain't flexing, none of that stuff. It's to impress you that, like, where all this data is coming from. And any of those 700 deals, I'm here. Like, I'm busy. I got another media company that I run with another business partner. I got a lot of stuff happening, but the second I need to deal with a client, I'm on that phone call. I tell my clients, look, I'm not hard to find. I produce 15 to 20 pieces of content a day on all the platforms. You can find me quite easily. Here's my cell number. It's the line to Batman, like it's the bat line. Call me if you need something, because I'm not afraid. I'm not going to hide behind a problem, because at the end of the day, for people who are in business, you actually want to look for some problems. Why? Because that's your opportunity to go above and beyond. See, most salespeople, most business owners, they're scared or they get very anxious around problems. But that's the time that you have the opportunity to showcase to your clients that you can do more. You're not just an order taker. You're someone who's going to provide exceptional service. You need to find ways to exceed people's expectations. How do you find people's expectations? Very easily. You ask them. At the start of your meetings, at the start of your consultations, at the first time you meet someone, hey, Nikki, what's your expectation with this product or service? Hey, Nikki, what's your expectation with working here? Hey, Nikki, what can I expect from you as a client? Hey, Nikki, what can I expect from you as a staff member? Now, I know his expectations. He wants X, Y, and Z. My job is to exceed those as many times as I possibly can, because that's when he's going to start saying the 3-letter magical word that means everything to us in our business, which is wow. See, when you can get people to say wow, it becomes memorable. When an experience becomes memorable, they remember it. And that's when they tell family and friends. And that's how you grow a business from the ground up.
I know he dropped a bomb, y'all. That's a lot of information to take in. But the beauty of this, the power of this, is you get to go back and watch this. If you missed anything that he said, if you missed any of this, what I'm hearing is customer service, right? Going above and beyond each and every time. There's no favoritism here, right? One client isn't better than this client over here just because they're paying more money for real estate. He loves all his clients, and he treats him and his team treat his clients with the same level of energy, the same level of customer service, the same level each and every time. That's what I'm hearing.
To that point, Marcus, and that's system, right? Like, you want to provide the exact same service every single time, right? And it really, at the highest level, when I said provide exceptional service, that's kind of number 2 in our mission for our companies. Number 1 is treat everyone with respect. I don't care if you're the janitor or you're the CEO, you get treated the exact same around here. It just is. If in like actual real estate terms, if you're renting a condo that's $1,500 a month and my team makes $750 off of that, or if you're buying a $2 million home and my team's going to make $50,000 on that, you get treated the same. And that's like that is not a crock of me just making up and having lip service. I'll tell you why. Because of all my experience in customer service, I know $1,500 person knows 200 people. That know 200 people. That know 200 people. Now that's 40,000 people, right? And so if I treat Laura the renter really, really well, she's gonna know somebody else. And if I treat Luke really, really bad, he's gonna tell a lot more people, and that's not gonna work out for me either.
It's true. You guys, this is Jas Takhar. This man is the man, the myth, the legend himself. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got commercial break. We got to pay our sponsors. They need their showtime. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Love you guys.
Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, well, some, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye.
We are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and we have Mr. Jas Takhar, the man, the myth, the mogul, the legend. Y'all gonna see this man. This man is on TV. He's in Toronto, Canada, and him and his team are killing it. I mean, killing it. They grew, to over $1.6 billion in sales, closing over 500 transactions. Get this, during a pandemic. And he just spilled the tea on one of the many ways he's doing it, which is customer service. Shocking, right? Above and beyond. Him and his team go 110% for each of their clients each and every time. If you missed that, go back, scroll back, and check him out. Sir, one of the things, and I want you to spill some tea on this, you overcame tragedy, and you overcame the tragic death of a business partner, something that would have ruined most businesses. But you stepped it up and you took it to the next level, and your team is now what? The number 1 position in Canada today. How did you overcome such a tragic event? How did you push through that? Because that's hard.
Yeah, man. A couple of things. I mean, for the last decade, we've always placed in number 3. Just to kind of give everyone some clarification, last year in 2021, it was number 2 in the country out of 22,000. Very, very proud and blessed to have that. But 4 years ago, coming up to 4 years, sorry. I mean, he by title, he was my business partner, but he was definitely a lot more than that. For 13 years, he was my mentor. I got 2 older brothers. He definitely played the role of my 3rd older brother. I got to be his right-hand man. A big reason of why I'm actually even here, sitting here with the beautiful, handsome Marcus right now, is because of the conversations that I had with this man. The thousands upon thousands of times we disagreed, and I just got to learn he was approximately 20 he was 15 years my senior, 18 years my senior. So it was just nice to be learning from somebody, not only about business but about life. And doing it at a level of 10 to 11, 12 hours a day for 13 years, that starts to compound over time. He passed away tragically. I spent, I don't know, probably about 12 hours with him, making phone calls the day before the day before he died. It came as a shock. It still, at times I wake up and think that he's still around. It is what it is, right? Everyone has lost someone, and gone through tragedy. I'm different, right? In terms of how I kind of deal with it. I go very, very insular because it's happened a couple of times in my life where I've lost someone very close to me. And so there was obviously a pattern. I look to people around me, that kind of kept me kept me going, right? You look around at, my kids and my family, and then my work family, and you don't want to let other people down, right? Like I heard something not too long ago, and it's from Anthony Robbins. He says that you'll do more for others than you will do for yourself. And when I started to look around, and say, okay, like for me to keep the lights on in our business, I'm gonna have to become someone that I'm not right now. And I don't mean like inauthentic, but I mean like I'm gonna have to go to the toolbox in here, and start picking out the right tools to actually move our business forward. And look, I mean, people come around here now, and in Toronto, and I hear it a lot, and it means a lot as well, saying things like, wow, you took this to such new heights, and you're doing it at such high levels, at a higher level. I think it's more of that we're just doing it differently, right? I mean, content wasn't a big play back then, 4 years ago, as it is now, especially podcasting, specifically podcasting. And so that, having that, knowing that I can create content and control the narrative of the messaging that I'm going to put out there, through a medium like podcasting without the cameras, which I was not comfortable with 4 years ago, really gave me some confidence, right? Which came from the 25 years, 24 years at that time of being on the phones for every single day for that 24-year period, and never hearing from someone that my voice sucks. Not that you have the sexiest voice, but at least I had that confidence. And then I like, looking back, man, the way that I kind of got through it, I had the right people around me, because everyone decided that they're going to pull up their socks. And this was the fact that he passed away was not going to be the story that we were going to tell each other, that we failed 10 years from now, 20 years from now. In fact, it was going to be the catalyst that where we were going to be able to say, we actually made this happen. And it's been, like I said, coming up to 4 years. It's lots of ups and downs. A lot of times we've hit our head against the wall. We hit our head against the wall every single day. I know he's watching. I know he's very, very proud, because he, 3 days before he passed away, was going on stage, and he looked over to me and said, man, I'm tired of doing this. Like, you need to do this now. And I chuckled to him, just saying, like, where are you going? Why do I need to worry about going on stage? And now, look, I mean, I've been on a lot of stages and a lot of webinars and podcasts. So I know my man's very, very proud of me. He's proud of the people around us. There's a lot of new faces around here. We've grown, but we got something very, very special. But he was definitely someone who planted seeds in my brain, in my head, and faces that are still around here. He did that for a lot of people. He was very positive, just larger than life kind of character. I miss him dearly, but I'm sure our paths will cross once again at some point.
I forgot to mention, y'all, a big heart, a heart of gold, man. That's hard. That's hard. We experience so many different things in our lives, in business, and to experience the tragedy of losing a friend, a partner, that is no easy transition. The pandemic was not easy for any of us. So Mr. Takhar, I thank you, brother. I thank you for sharing that part of your world.
Yeah, man. I think the pandemic brought its own challenges, right? We, for the first time, weren't allowed to leave our homes. Like, it's just even thinking back, what are we, 2 years removed from it, almost to the day? Like, that was odd, man. Like, you can't leave your home. Like what the heck, right? And then we had to start to fast forward conversations like this through like a digital landscape, right? Which I think has done very well for a lot of people. But wow, like, the fact that you couldn't meet your mother and your father, and sometimes your ailing mother and father, friends, families. I remember seeing so many pictures of people watching their friends and families through windows, but if you're here now, This is what I would tell people. If you're here now, you now have a tool that you can use later on in life. When things get tough, and I think that's the tough part about it. We don't remind ourselves how far we've come, right? We're always thinking about the future. And that's where I think a lot of anxiety comes from anyways, right? It's from people living like worried about the future or thinking about the past, where we just never have really, or a lot of people don't sit and just like be present in the present and say, wow, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. I just went through 2 years of, if you're still eating, you're still breathing, and most of your, like, if your family's healthy, yeah, I know shit has not gone the way that you wanted it to go for the last 2 years, but you're here now. You got through it. And now maybe you need to go find people that actually did, for a lack of a better word, take advantage. And I don't mean like take advantage in a negative way, like, actually use those last 2 years to transform themselves, transform their business, because success leaves clues. You got to find those people, find out what they did, so you can reverse engineer that for your life. And you might need to ask 68 people to come to their table and learn what they did before the 69th or 72nd person says yes. But I can promise you, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who have completely transformed their life and their business in the last couple of years. Your job, if you didn't, that's okay. You're still breathing. Be grateful for that. Go find those people. And if you can't get a seat at their table, go get coffee for that table, because over time, you probably get a seat at that table.
So true. So true. Ooh, I wish I had a microphone so I could give it so he could drop it. That was profound. That was sage wisdom, y'all. That is sage.
Microphone, and I'll just drop it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. We got one more quick commercial break, y'all. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a reliable professional trucking and logistics service, you've come to the right place. Musa Trucking is a veteran-owned and operated premier transportation provider that can help with all of your trucking and logistics needs. Musa is revolutionizing the trucking industry through strategic partnerships, the development of core personnel, and the use of cutting-edge technology. Our inventory system ensures that cargo ends up divided into the right trucks and reaching the correct destination. Our drivers are dedicated to transporting goods efficiently and safely. Contact us today to get started by visiting the website on the screen or by calling 757-756-5246.
Support for Gentleman Style Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers you precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off free worldwide shipping with the code GENTSTYLE at manscaped.com.
We have the incredible Jas Takhar. Welcome back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, y'all. You are phenomenal, Mrs. Takhar. You have a heart of gold, and you could do so many different things. You have an incredible mind, an incredible journey. Your life story is amazing, brother. But you could do anything you set your mind to. That is for sure. Why real estate? Why real estate investing?
Yeah, look, I mean, growing up, as I mentioned, I've always been in sales and service, right? And then there was, in my mind, there was one ladder that I didn't climb yet. And that was really the biggest ticket item that the average person makes, which is a house, a condo, a piece of real estate. And so from a challenge perspective, I knew I was going to get into this business. While it's just funny how the universe works, right? Like I start thinking about, okay, I'm going to start getting into real estate as a real estate agent in the sales side of things. Then I just start bumping into people that own a lot of property. I was like, this is so cool, right? Like there was an old Italian guy on my street, and he'd be cutting the grass and shoveling the snow of 3-4 homes on my street. And you're like, the heck is it? Like, is this his company? And I remember talking to him. He's like, no, I own these properties, but I rent them out. And I'm like, wow, this is like so different. This is so cool. I'm probably at that time 20, I'm going to say about 20, 21 years old, right? It's the first time, like I had an uncle or two that dabbled in real estate investing, but that's the first time that I actually physically saw somebody owning property. And so it just matched really well, right? Like I'm getting my real estate license. I'm thinking that it's going to teach me how to invest as well. You quickly find out that's not what the license is for. But as I got into the business, I started to see like what happens to values and the fact that 90% of millionaires, and I saw this very, very early on in my career in real estate, like 90% of millionaires own real estate. And there's some basic reasons for it. One, there's only so much. Like there's not going to be any more built unless Elon Musk has success in going to Mars. On Earth, there's only so much land, and that's all we have now. And then the fact that you can use other people's money, meaning the banks. You got to come up with a down payment, 5%, 15%, 20%, and then anywhere from 80 to 95% of a purchase price is given to you by someone else, right? And that also leads to the fact that there's more people coming into our city, so I'm speaking specifically about Greater Toronto area, than we actually have land. And so there's only one thing that happens to values. They continue to go up. And now if you look at 100 years, so a massive sample size, in any area you are in the world, you'll notice one thing, that values go up, they come a little down, then they go back up again, right? And so I think that's huge when you have all that in one bucket where you can invest in real estate. For me, it was a no-brainer, especially when I started to have some success with it. I bought a property, I rented it out, I just took care of the tenant, which is my customer. So then that customer service aspect comes out again. A lot of people who own real estate and rent it out, they think they're the landlord, so they're up here and the tenant is beneath them. You need to flip that on its head. You as a landlord need to think that the tenant is your customer and you own a business, and you need to treat that customer/tenant with the utmost respect because they're taking care of your property, they're paying down your mortgage, and they're giving you cash flow, all while the value of the property is going up. So the question then becomes, how many times can you do that? Not if you should do that. But it starts with the mindset again that you as a landlord are going to take care of the tenant. Now, is there time that tenants don't pay and there's some horror stories? Yes, but like any other store, Walmart, there's internal theft, there's external theft. Shit happens as a business owner. You need to budget for it, but know that there's a lot more success stories in renting out properties than there are horror stories. Unfortunately, the people that speak about the horror stories, they just remember those, but more success stories.
For sure. Very true. Very true. There are the horror stories, but you can't become fearful. You can't let fear paralyze you into not taking action. So true. Very, very true. Mr. Takhar, what is one piece of advice, one nugget you would give that young man, that young woman out in the audience whose back is against the wall? They're facing adversity. The pandemic was tough. What would you say to that young boy, that young girl out in the audience today that they can take action on today that they should do to make that transition? What would that piece of advice? You've dropped nuggets all episode. What would the one more nugget, if you had one more nugget in the tool belt, what would that be?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I would tell people when your back's up against the wall, really in any situation, even when things are going very, very well for you, is stop comparing yourselves to others. See, you just don't know someone else's backstory. You don't know what happens in their house, their home, their bedroom, what's happening in their own boardroom in business. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how many times their backs up have been against the wall. It doesn't matter what somebody else has more of than you or less of than you. Any time that you spend bandwidth, not www.bandwidth, bandwidth in here, mind energy on someone else, that's taking away energy and time away from you executing on what you need to do for your life, for your situation. Because look, when your back up is against the wall, you'll have some people that will come help you. Majority of people will give you a little bit of their time, but they got shit in their own lives that are happening. So the only person that can help you is yourself. Then a magical thing starts to happen. Other people start helping you. You ever notice if you're driving on the freeway when you're actually like see somebody pulled over, okay? But if you're sitting in the car, you all just drive past them. But you ever notice when someone's pushing their car by themselves? You probably have done it. Definitely, I'm sure have noticed it. More people pull over and start helping because we as humans like to help people who are helping themselves. So it starts with you. You need to help yourself. And you do that, in my opinion, by not comparing yourself to what other people have and don't have. You need to use all that energy, all the resources, all the time in actually doing something for yourself.
I wasn't expecting that, y'all. That was unplanned. That was uncut, unedited. That was raw. Thank you. I needed to hear that. If nothing else, I needed to hear that. That was for me. He was talking to me.
Not to cut you off, Marcus. We all do at times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why don't get too low on yourself when things are not going your way, and don't get too high on yourself when things are. You know what I mean? Like if you can do a lot of this, that's going to be really good for you. Because like it works the other way too. Like for all the positive stuff you've said about me, and I get a lot of it in my DMs, and I get it here in my office, I get it at home, I get it on the streets, all that. If I allowed that to actually get to me, then I'm gonna start to have an ego and be an ass. And once you start to not be kind, the universe will work against you. It's just a matter of time until you get on that lower frequency of negativity now, and then you get more of that, right? Now, when things aren't going well for you, don't get so low on yourself. Surround yourself with people that are uplifting, inspiring, motivating, because if you hang around 5 of those people, there is such a high chance that you're going to be number 6. Right? On the flip side, you hang around 5 negative people, 5 people who are always discouraging you, 5 people that are just down all the time. There's a really good chance that you're going to be number 6 of that as well. Now you get to choose chocolate or vanilla. You get what I'm saying? And then cut off all the other ties, because now you made a decision. You decided. That comes from the Latin word of other things that you need to cut off. You know what I mean? You decided. You're cutting off every other option. You just need to make, in my opinion, the positive one, because you're going to attract a lot more positivity in your life.
For sure. Absolutely. How can my audience connect with you? How can we grow with you? How can we learn more?
Look, man, I'm not that hard to find, as I mentioned earlier, right? Like I'm on all the platforms. Pick your vice. If you like to hear me in short form, 37 seconds, then go to TikTok and go to Instagram. If you like my long form stuff, I got a lot of stuff on YouTube. But I think the easiest way to kind of get into my world right now is just to go to my website, and then you can see if you like the good-looking Indian guy who waves his hands a lot or not. And that's probably the site that you just put up here, jastakhar.ca. That's going to be the best way to make that decision for yourself.
Jas Takhar, y'all. Sir, I want to thank you personally from me to you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. This was helpful. And I want to say this to you publicly. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. We need what you and your team are doing. You are changing the world, one family, one household, one home, one person at a time. So don't ever quit, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that. And I know my team who's watching and listening live right now, as well as, the recording, they're very appreciative. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and that's why I'm able to see as far as I'm able to see right now. They don't necessarily always get the kudos. I try my best to remind them of it, that what I've become and all the stuff that people are saying about me, without them, I wouldn't even get a fraction of it. They are such hardworking people, massive hearts. But look, I think that's what I attract, right? Because I'm always trying to put out those vibrations, and that's why I have the people around me right now.
For sure, absolutely. Amen. I love it. Mr. Takhar, we gotta let Mr. Takhar go, y'all. This man has a company to run, several companies to run, as you heard. But if you want to connect. His website, that's the best way to connect with him. His YouTube, his Instagram. He's on all the platforms that you can find him. And if you forgot everything else, connect with me, and I'll get you in touch with him and his team. This is impactful. I hope this message has served you all. I hope this helps. I hope this helps you take your business to the next level. Anytime, any place, anywhere. Like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your business, and always take care of family. Love you guys. This is Gentleman Style Podcast Show, signing off. Bye.